Morning, Mike. David Moore, Dallas Morning News. Because I know you love big picture questions in a short week. You're talking about, balancing the offense a little more with shading it toward the run game and getting that up and running. With where you are right now, do you feel you've done a pretty good job of balancing the offense and kind of, are we seeing what you hope to see at this stage of the season? I
mean, the biggest thing is, our focus is complementary football, and I think the mechanics of how you get that is, playing to one another. I mean, it's, certain statistics, don't always tell the whole story, but it gives you insight on where you want to be. So, I mean, controlling the clock, obviously, keeps your defense fresh. Running the football, it really highlights, two of our, premier players on offense with both Zeke and Tony. So, I mean, all that applies too. So, but yeah, you want to be balanced, but you got to be situational strong because there's going to be times where you have to go run it to win. And there's definitely points in every season. Half your games come down to 2 minutes, 2-minute drill. And I thought our before end of the half work was outstanding. Obviously had to score and then was able to get the ball back again and kick the long field goals. So, those are the kind of things I think really pay forward because that's what this league's about. So, long answer for big picture on a short week.
And the other part of that is doing that. It also brings in more the play action, which you're doing this year, and you've been very successful with that.
Well, I didn't know you were focused on normal down distance. I wish you just said so. But yeah, definitely when you run the football, the action pass game comes off of that.
Larry Silver, Star Telegram. Since it's a short week, just some administrative things. The injury report, you had a number of guys who were ill, Michael, knee, and guys that didn't practice today. What is their situation with those? Who's practicing and who's not?
Yeah, I think, Michael will be, he'll probably be in a limited, category, but, I see him, as playing Thursday. So, and we do have a number of guys that are sick that won't be here today.
How do you quarantine them or keep from other guys, and what are you doing? Are you worried about that going through?
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, particularly the position. We had a number of people wear masks today, so had a lot of people do ginger shots. So I mean, so that's just being smart with it. So I think the experience that we all went through during the pandemic has served us well for these type of challenges.
Mike Todd with ESPN. I don't know what Tad's fine is for the phone going off. Is there one?
Well, it's high alert when you come in here.
Well, there's one exemption to that list.
Oh, okay.
952.
Was it the owner or the GM?
Both.
You're fine if you don't answer it.
With Maher, what were your expectations when you guys got him out in Oxnard, and how obviously he has exceeded whatever you thought he would?
Yeah, I think it's like any of our players, and Brett's a great example of it. I mean, the expectation is to take full advantage of your opportunities. So I think you go back to that day during the workout. He was so impressive. Just basically, I know I've answered this, the same way a number of times. Seeing him work out the year before compared to where he was, in training camp was, you could tell that he was in a different headspace, and the confidence and it's just. The velocity, the height. I mean, his numbers were just exceptional that day, and that's held true. I think he's kicking with tremendous confidence right now. So obviously, I have confidence in him to try those long kicks, and I just think he's doing a great job of taking advantage of an excellent opportunity.
And you told us before the end of half scenarios and coming out in the third quarter, doubles when you score 3 times like that?
I think it's a triple-double now. Yeah, and I don't know what kind of burger that is at Whataburger, but I think Todd would know better than any of us. But Clarence, you're the Whataburger?
I'm one burger guy.
Do they have three patties?
Triple burger.
There you go. That was a triple burger.
That was a triple burger with cheese.
Yeah, triple. We'll let you participate. So that's what we'll call it moving forward. But no, that's what you're looking for. I mean, there's that's a huge momentum opportunity in the game, and and really coming out. And that's what we talked about at halftime. Let's come out and get this first score and really try to take the wind out of their sails. And and I think you've just the crowd noise alone was definitely different after that.
Mike Epstein with Yahoo Sports. Of course, getting an early lead is one of the keys to last week's run defense. But what else can y'all take from that game beyond that in terms of what was working better than it had the last week?
Well, I think the biggest thing is if you just look to the way we're built. When we have the lead, it's obviously a great opportunity for our defense to have some more pass rush opportunities. I mean that's obviously a huge strength of ours. Something that we established last year. We recognize that. So that if you could draw up a blueprint how you want to play every week, that's definitely how you love to play. So that's why we try to spend a lot of time on the first series of the game and things like that, just to try to get off and get going. So, but yeah, I think it just gives you a chance to play to your strengths.
Did you feel like beyond that, the defense was more technically sound against the run?
Say again?
Did you feel like beyond, once they were able to pass rush more, like even at the beginning, did you feel like there was improvements?
Oh, I thought our concentrated effort to stop the run was clearly evident. So I think the ability to get off blocks, the pursuit was, I thought it was where it needed to be.
Skyler Dixon with the AP. You mentioned situational football earlier. Huge improvement on third down for you guys, basically since Dak's been back. How much of it is Dak and him kind of finding a rhythm versus other things?
Oh, I think it's all the above. Definitely the quarterback is a huge part of third down conversions. I mean, that's the money down. That's when the ball's in the quarterback's hand, and obviously a lot of it is from the drop back phase of it. So he definitely deserves a lot of credit for that. I think that 2 out of 3 weeks we've been exceptional. But I think if you look at the key to it is the distance. We had so many of those were 3rd and 5 to less, and that really goes back to the run game and being able to play 50-50 type offense in first and second down. But if we keep our third down conversions where they are, I think obviously our success will continue.
The diversity of your pass rush is pretty remarkable. You have 11 guys with sacks, and Micah is so dominant that a lot of guys seem to get overlooked. One of those is Demarcus Lawrence, who's always been great against the Giants. Can you give us a sense of how well Lawrence is playing and the contribution he's making up front?
I think Demarcus is having an exceptional year. This is our 3rd year together. I think this is the best I've seen him play, and I think so much has made his sacks. But God, I just love how he plays first and second down too. I mean, his tenacity in the run defense. I thought him and Dono were exceptional 2 weeks in a row. So, and I think that always carries over. So, being a third down, pass rush specialist is a job I think a lot of individuals would like. But to do it on all 3 downs, Demarcus is exceptional.
Calvin Watkins, Dallas Morning News. Talk a lot about Tony Pollard getting more touches. What does it say about Zeke? Because the Eagle decided to say, "Hey, let's do this together. Let's just get this offense going together."
Yeah, I mean, I've been impressed with Zeke since the first day that I arrived here. Our first team meeting. We were in the Ford Center, and he sits in the front row. He's a great teammate. I mean, I don't know how many different ways I can say this. I mean, he's always there. He's great with the young guys. So very smart football player, very instinctive and aware. But his brand of football is he's definitely old school. I mean, he's tough, physical. He does the hard stuff and never blinks. So, but at the end of the day, Zeke's accomplished so much in his career. But the championship is what it's all about, and I think he definitely wears that on his sleeve every day.
Is it hard to protect him from himself because you know how much he wants to play out there?
Well, yeah, definitely. I mean, but I think just like anything, I mean, it's we're able to just to keep playing, regardless of whether Zeke or Tony's in there, and that's a huge asset to have as a play caller. So, and I think both Zeke and Tony understand that.
Brad Sham, Cowboys Radio. Schultz has nominally the same thing that Zeke was dealing with last year, and presuming that he's dealing with the same kind of a relative lack of explosion, would you talk, please, a little bit about how Schultz has been able to help managing what he can't do physically and maximizing what he can do?
Yeah, I think Dalton did an excellent job fighting through that, and just had to learn how to play with it. And I know, just speaking with Dalton, that's the first time he's had that type of injury. But the bye week was huge for him. I feel like Dalton's back. He's definitely close to where he was prior to the injuries. So, and he's an all-time pro. I mean, Dalton's the guy that I have to, try to beat to the stadium on game day, and I go pretty early, really early. But so I just think that shows you, his approach to the game. So he does all the extra stuff, all the little things, and but it's great to have him back out there in the full mode.
Mike Edwarder, ESPN. Sorry, I forgot to introduce myself on that first question.
I wrote it down. You're fine.
Can you speak to the evolution of Tony Pollard in the time that you've been here, from a guy who, maybe plays 40% of the snaps to the point now where it almost seems like he's a guy who it's a priority to make sure he gets enough opportunities in a game?
Yeah, definitely. I think it's like anything. We talk about the development of young players. Tony was a young player, back in 2020, and I mean, he's just continued to get better each and every year. And I think just like anything, these players just need opportunities. And the hardest part of the job most of the time is you don't have enough opportunities for everybody. So he's a great example. Definitely someone you'd like to see the younger players these last 2 draft classes try to emulate, because he's a great story. When you talk about draft and develop, and you see guys climb, and particularly when you're playing with a Zeke Elliott. I mean, that says a lot about Tony. He just he's taking advantage of all his opportunities.
Mike, you haven't won yet with the Cowboys on Thanksgiving. The Cowboys haven't won the last 3 times they've played on Thanksgiving. Are the distractions?
Well, aren't you a Debbie Downer on a holiday? I thought this would be the week I'd get to go through here pretty clean, no?
Are the distractions different on the day, and how do y'all deal with that? How can you prepare?
Well, I'll tell you, this whole sequence is a challenge. I mean, but obviously Dallas has been dealing with this for decades. But yeah, I mean, for as much time as we spend time on scheduling and trying to get it right, I think that those are part of it. Your health is obviously a huge part of any short week, and we got the other one coming right after Christmas too. So we'll do the same schedule twice. Hopefully that pays forward. But I think the biggest part of Thursday games is the health is a higher challenge than any other weeks, being Captain Obvious here too. So, but at the end of the day, we understand this is a very important game. This is a division game. Everything's right in front of us, and we have to take care of this one. So that's really what our focus on. Hopefully we can turn the trend for your stats. So.
Playing off that a little bit, you don't often have truly dominant performances like you all had Sunday. Do you kind of like coming back quickly off of that and playing again?
But because we were dominant Sunday? I'd actually like to have a 7-day week, so I won't have to listen to any more jury questions. No, I think I mean these quick turnarounds. Regardless of what happens Sunday, I think it's good for you because really the plane ride home and you get in your car and I know I was. I mean I watched just the first half of the offense and defense, and then just got on to the Giants as soon as I could. So and I think that was really pretty much everybody. So you have to turn the page.
All righty.
All right. Thank you.